Welcome back, welcome back. So, I like to watch things, obviously, and then give my opinions, and we gonna give some opinions to the people that believe in Tartaria. See, there's a sound the horns. My father's been making me watch that thing unfold for a while now, and it connects to mud flood and all these other things, I guess. And people talk about it, right? So, what we're looking at is a mystery. And the mystery is the buildings and everything you see around you, right? There are buildings that are built around buildings that was already there so you can't see them. That's one. And then two, there are buildings that are built on top of other buildings. And the other building that was originally there is underground. And nobody knows. But people are starting to find out because the weather is going nutso, and because my father controls the weather, um things are eroding and revealing them. Oh yeah, my father tell you gonna tell the truth on it. He gonna force people. He gonna make you look stupid in front of everybody for lying, right? Now, we've been having on the internet for a long time this Tartaria thing of people saying that there was a nation of Tartaria, right? Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be or whatever. I'm not. I'm just going to match that Tartarian mysteries and questions that everybody keeps asking. Everyone keeps asking the same questions, and nobody seems to have an answer. So, Daddy wants to use what his knowledge can of historical facts, and then I'm going to also give a Bible quote and a lesson on that, and let everybody decide for themselves, because I can't prove nothing. I only can say things that I learned and ask questions. Like everybody else. We all ask questions, and some of us look for the answer. We don't just keep asking fucking new questions and looking up new mysteries. We actually go, wow, that's a good one. How can I figure this out? You get it? So without any further ado, we're gonna allow this woman to do what she does, and I'm gonna do what I do.
That's not funny.
No, she just said it.
What happened? Why is it covered in mud? What are they trying to hide? And exactly what is going on with this? Like, it looks like a brick building, but then whenever the bricks start falling off, it's a whole nother building. It looks like maybe a courthouse. How did they hide that on the inside, though? This is just crazy. When they laid the foundation for the store, they didn't realize there was a whole nother building up under there. I'm so
Remember, I'm a regular man, but guess what? This regular man learned about digging, because I used to I had a job where I used to build fences for a living for like a year, and that is little details of you got to learn how to dig, and you got someone that actually knows, like they've been doing it. They learn things. Old men teach you things that may come into use. You think you don't need it, but you do. See, I thought I need this information to keep building fences maybe one day, but no, I'm using it to prove things. And then all my little construction jobs here and there, you try to be a big man, but you're really not built for that shit. So you find out and you're like, all right, well, I learned some knowledge. So off those two jobs, I learned that when you make a building, you dig in the fucking floors. The first thing you do is start with the basement. You know, so the thing can stand up. So there's no way to build over a building and not know a building's under it. It's in fucking possible.
perplexed with this. Like, how is there so much of the building under the ground, but they don't even know it? Like, how do you go inside of a building that has
You don't even know it. They knew it was there. You didn't know it was there.
this much underground and not know there's more to the building underneath? And perhaps the most astonishing one of all is the White House. What's going on under there?
Oh, the White House has a building under it that has Colosseum Egyptian looking like structure? Oh, really? So, that's weird.
Why are all these buildings covered in mud?
Why?
This too, look at these columns. Erosion has made let these be known. So, what is going on? What are they trying to
Was it erosion, or was it my lord giving the order to reveal things?
hide? Someone digging somewhere in Italy found this in their backyard. This is crazy. My question, though, really is where are the people? Where are the people who built these structures? Why have we never heard about this?
You did hear about it, you just didn't pay attention.
What happened to them? Why were these stories not passed down from generation to generation?
They were. You didn't pay attention.
I just don't get it because it makes no sense. How all these structures can be buried underground. No one knows about them. There's nobody that has been told this from their grandparents, great grandparents, or anyone.
Yes, they did.
It's just like, whoa, we found these buildings. What the hell? Where's the history on these buildings? Where'd they come from? Who built them? Where's the people that built them? What's the story?
Yeah, that is strange.
Yes, it is strange. Now let's go inside the mind of a strange man that's, an idiot. See, I'm going to use a little history. Like I said, we're going to go with the things we learned from history and natural, regular things. And then we're going to go to that Bible. In history, that you can look up, they told us things and they made records. In history, there were people that went around the world and said, "This is my shit now." And then when they did that, they stayed there. And then they said, "You're not named that now. I'm named that now. And you got a new name, nigger." Right? And then years and years went by, and then you forgot that you did that. And then you woke up one day out of nowhere, and your children's children said, "I want to know things. Things don't feel right. There's questions. And you motherfuckers won't answer them. Why?" And then, you go back in history, right? And then you start learning that you don't conquer a people, and get rid of all of them. You conquer them, you enslave them, you change their names, and you make them work for you on their land. Right? Isn't that how it always goes everywhere else? Isn't it exactly what you'll see in history of any battle? Yes, that's what you're gonna see. So you can skip me with the fucking "you think" things. No, I know things. I watch people do it and write it down and say, "We did this to you." Right? So, when you say, who built these things? People did. Where'd all those people go? They got scattered all around the world and told, "You're nobody." And some of them got told, "You better keep your fucking mouth closed and we'll let you get some of the goods." Sound the horns long range. Now, this has happened and people are starting to see this old new world everywhere. They're starting to realize there used to be a whole nother world and it was built better than the one we live in. Because the shit they built is still standing. And then, how were these people so fucking dumb if they're building Colosseum structures and temples and all these things that, stupid ass people that you claim to take over, they're just savages! A stupid savage can't build a temple. You get it? Now, let's go to a little mystery of South America. And the mysteries of what it says about those people. Like the Mayans. And the original Aztecs and those guys, right? All these thousands of years ago, people supposedly were here. and they built all this stuff. And they said, my Lord did it. He sent his little angel buddies and they helped us do all these things. We didn't do it. They helped us do it. Right? And then it said they broke the laws of their God. And their God got really mad at them and said, I'm going to make people smash you to fucking dust. And, or something like that, right? So, out of nowhere, a civilization, a continent of people that had like a capital and everything, all those people magically vanish and nobody knows where they went in the world. They magically disappear. See, that's a recent event. That's not Tartaria days. See, we can, this disappearing act seems to be happening a lot. But there are people that still fucking live there and say, I'm them. I'm them. How was that built? I don't know. But you're them. I know. Who built that? I don't know. How's it work? I don't know. But it's mine. It's mine. Right? So, then there's a whole trade, slave trade thing that like kind of happened. And during that thing, it kind of keeps saying that people got their names taken away and people were getting shipped all around and all this stuff. And then on the records, it says South America and America niggas was getting shipped off around the world. And then, we're living in now where there's a group of people that have a name that doesn't mean you're actual people. It means you don't fucking exist. Now, when you have a name that means you don't exist, you're black, you don't exist. And then we have things that are built, and then you ask the question, who built these things? Where'd they go? It's like these people vanished. They don't exist anymore. I wonder why. And then, this is where we throw the Bible in there. She said, how come there's no records of this? I just gave you a fucking history lesson on actual history books and then myths and, so skip me with the why ain't people recording shit? No, why ain't you paying attention? And how'd you let this dumb nigger find this shit and not you? Yous are all smarter than me. You know how to work these machines. Anyway, in my father's book, he said the tribe of Israel and the Hebrews disrespected him. And their punishment was he's going to send a cruel people to punish them and rule over them for 500 years. And it said that they're going to come and get you, they're going to pummel your shit, and then they're going to drag your dumb ass out of your home. And you're never going to see it again. But it said something that most people, either skip over or it just blows past their mind or something, because it seems like nobody fucking stresses this thing, what it says. It says the Lord is going to leave their special places, their high places. What are you going to build that's really tall more than anything else? A church? A temple? Duh. He said your high places are going to still be there, but no one's ever going to live in it. And she was just talking about how there's temples in the Aztec jungles, in the Asians, and in the Americas, and in Africas. People are finding temples all over the world. And nobody lives there. And everybody goes, where'd they go? Well, that book says, my father made his children build things, and because he disrespected them, they're getting taken away from it, and they'll return when he returns. They get to go home when they repent, and then he brings them home to their places that people don't dwell in. They know about it, but they don't dwell there. That's sort of like what that girl just said. We're finding all these places. Nobody lives there, and there's all these. Where do people go? You get it now? Now, I'm not saying all these places in the world are, but that's when I connected to, Jacob's story and about how Esau kept chasing him around. And everywhere he went, Jacob would build things. And then Esau would come and take them and say, it's mine now. It's my shit now. And it's funny that, the old book said there's maniacs that run around and steal people's shit, and then when they take it, it said they name it after themselves. That's how you're gonna know who the bad people are, because the Most High tells his children, don't you fucking name things after yourself. Who gave you it? Me. So who's gonna name it? Oh, the Most High. And there's a lot of places name things. I wonder if those things are named after people that went places and said, this is mine now. This is mine. It's all mine. Get it? Sound the horns. Now, these are all just speculations and thoughts. I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm just saying information that I've learned and could possibly be true. So, maybe, hopefully that answered some of y'all questions or gave you something to think about or look up. Maybe somebody that has a more scholarly, deeper, knowledge than I will be able to find the pieces to correct me. I don't mind being wrong. It's the only way to get right. You kind of get it? Let me see what else I can find. This doesn't have to do with religion. This has to do with something I said maybe a year ago. You women and your fucking charlatan drinks, yous are gonna get exposed so bad. And it just keeps happening. I keep finding things, and it's bad. And I wish women would stop. But I know, you got raised to do this. So, if you don't know any better, you're gonna do things. So, today's lesson, don't set men up. This ain't 1950. There's a way to catch you now.
Yeah, that is strange.
This is the hustle of a lot of women. Do you know about the pitcher from he used to pitch for Los Angeles Dodgers, Trevor Bauer? Do you know what happened to him?
A little backstory here. The Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher has been accused of sexual assault by a woman named Lindsay C. Hill. She actually obtained a temporary restraining order against him. And while no charges have been filed against him, the MLB did suspend Bauer for 2 seasons without pay this past April. And Bauer filed a lawsuit against Hill and her lawyer, accusing both of defamation. And Hill also...
I didn't know that. If someone accuses you of something and you didn't do it, it's defamation of character. I wonder if I have a lawsuit of somebody saying, you pushed me down and you tried to hurt an old lady. I wonder if that's defamation of character. Anyway, back to the lesson.
2 counts of tortious interference with contract.
Lindsay, I mentioned Bauer's video in which he provided some receipts that, I'm going to be honest with you, make you look like a clout chaser, or I know some people are calling you a cleat chaser.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait, sir, because admittedly you were chasing after several high-profile, wealthy baseball players. Trevor says everything was completely consensual. He also released these text messages that came out in court indicating that you had planned the whole thing out. So I want to read some of these texts from you to a friend between the two of you before you met Trevor, this one. Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. Okay. These texts from you to a friend between the two of you before you met Trevor, this one. Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. Okay. Victim is an interesting choice of words. I'm going to allow you a chance to explain yourself.
Victim is not an interesting choice of words. It's a synonym for target.
I'm going to allow you a chance to explain yourself. But after you agreed to meet, you asked your friend what you should steal. Your friend answered his money.
Yeah, victim. I was trying to get him. You know me, girl.
He says, another one from you to a friend, I'm going to his house Wednesday. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. With a screenshot in which you told him, tryouts don't scare me, Bauer. Pick a day and I am there. Here's some more after you and Trevor met up. Net worth is $51 million, to which your friend responds, bitch, you better secure that bag. Your text, need daddy to choke me out, being an absolute whore to try to get in on his $51 million.
Wow.
You say this wasn't a setup. How can you expect anyone to believe that?
That's a great question. I really appreciate you having me on to even have this conversation. Obviously, there's a lot going on around this, so I really appreciate people who are asking questions about it.
I mean, so you're saying that it's misleading because you're admitting that you did talk about rough sex and wanting rough sex. You did talk about him needing to choke you out. You did talk about stealing his money, but it's misleading because he put them together in the same video.
What's misleading about, hey, I need to steal your money? Officer, I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to steal their money. Come on, man.
It was separate conversations, correct?
Do you realize that this is like a lower class woman, because she's white, or a man? Sound the horns! Do you realize if that was a black man or a lower class woman, she would be in fucking jail already. You have text messages planning and plotting to rob this nigga. And she's allowed to go on the news and say, it was all a misunderstanding. My father said there's a evilness that goes into all people. This is like so obvious now. It's like you women don't understand that the more you chase that bag and do these things, you're being possessed by spirits. Now, it's not an actual, oh, you got boogity boogies on you. You have a spirit. The more you do wickedness, the more you become a wicked spirit. And then you're going to get summer jam screened.
That's why it's misleading.
Correct, and as well as not showing, the messages that occurred after where it discusses it strictly in the term of, being a baseball wife or something like that.
But when do we discuss you stealing my money? What context? You don't want to steal your money, right? Ah, psych. But I am really going to steal your money, though.
No. What she means by that is all of them niggas know they get wives that don't love them and want their money. They just don't, they're not stupid enough to write it out in the open. You think these dudes don't know? You think any man that has a lot of money doesn't realize 99% of the women that ever come at me now are going to do the most disgusting things in the world just to get at this money? They'll lie, cheat, steal. They'll kill me for it. You don't think we think that? And then, because you do things like this is why a lot of good men will just sleep with you and throw you to the wayside. Not realizing that's going to make crazy ones like this. That, they don't plan. They get smart, they set you up, and you go bye-bye.
Or something like that. Okay, I'm just curious if you know, like, the statistical likelihood of you texting your friend premeditated texts saying you wanted him to choke you out and steal his money and him actually choking you out, and those two things not being related.
It's a really, really valid question. And like I said, I think you would need to look through each conversation. Those were hand-picked. But I said last night, I completely own the fact that those were overly sarcastic, overly inappropriate to some may seem. And it does give off that impression about clout chaser and totally attention-seeking behavior. But I just feel that they have, nothing to do with what actually took place. But it does cause a lot of questions as to why I was, seeking Trevor out. But at the end of the day, there was nothing about a setup with violence and all of this stuff and getting financial gain. It was strictly, a 25 or however old I was at the time, girl trying to get attention from those.
AKA, this is what older women showed me. I didn't know you're not allowed to talk about this shit openly like this when you're about to execute. I didn't get taught by the elder Sith Lords that you have to secure the bag and then you brag. Because he's legally fucked now. Doesn't matter that you tell him, like, listen, nigga, you're done. You get it? These are your masters. They don't even teach you how to do this shit for real. This is why you need to give up and come to my side. It's so much easier over here. Takes hard work, though.
Things and phrasing it in a sarcastic way before we met.
What?
But you texted Trevor before you met him, telling him you liked rough sex. Then you texted him after your first sexual encounter with him, which you now call an assault. And according to court records, you told him after that sexual encounter that you had, quote, never been more turned on in your life. That's
Wow.
Something that someone says when they were just assaulted.
Duh.
I think it's a super valid question. Everything you're asking me is a super valid question.
I agree. That's why I'm asking them.
Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsay Hill herself, the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021.
Smiling.
Without my knowledge or consent, of course.
This man is in his bed, knocked out. She's videotaping him, smiling in the camera, putting on herself. And then less than 24 hours later, goes and says, he already R'd me. This is how stupid they've made you, women. Not all of you. You're literally setting up the crime. You execute. Then, instead of just doing it, you videotape yourself and forget that you're going to call RDR on somebody. No one gets RDR, then videotapes himself next to the person unconscious, smiling at them. That's a little weird.
You can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face.
Well, her eye did look a little swollen. Was she like holding her clothes like this? Like was she doing one of those Masonic all-seeing eye poses? This is the part that's creepy. You never know. Like I said, we're all dealing with this thing.
Out of sexual assault.
So, men, did you learn anything? Because I'm teaching the women not... Well, I'm trying to teach them, we're catching on. But men, did you learn anything? Oh, God, let me pause this. You sure your wife loves you? Now, I'm not saying this to hurt people's feelings, but you do realize that low-level women do this too, right? You do realize some of these women are so, trained to do this. They think that's the way. They think that's the only way it's always been. So, this is why a lot of things are getting real nutty. And like I said, my father's revealing all of this. And he's going to keep making you people slip up and, tell on yourselves little by little. So the rest of us can wake up and take the sticks out of our eyes and say, oh, I can see now. I know what a good woman is. And although I want this erotic sex and I want to do all that, you know what? It's not worth it. Maybe I need to get a good one and then learn to have sex with them. Instead of just getting this fucking whore that can blow my socks off and all this other, you know what I mean? I'm not dissing women that, know what you're doing because of experience and stuff and nothing. But we're talking about women like this that are just literally blatantly out here setting niggas up. And you don't understand, this model of thinking is a fucking 19 old from back days. This is the fucking shit our grandfathers and shit were growing up on, and their grandfathers and their My father said there's nothing new under the sun. This has been going on for so long, it's ridiculous. Women trying to scheme to live a better life. And this is where I come into play and try to make you realize, why are you trying to scheme on shit that niggas will give you anyway? Half the niggas you scheme on, you could have went to him, told him the truth. I want this. I want this amount of money, and I'm going to do these things for you for this amount of time, and I want this. Half the times those dudes would just give it to you. You wouldn't even have to do all these fucking tricks and risk your freedom. All love, all praise to the Most High.